Hello everybody, welcome back to Screen Stars. Time for another of my misunderstood movie reviews. And these are reviews for movies that I think have been misunderstood in some way. Either they were critically panned, or audiences didn't take to them, or they didn't do well at the box office, but I think are actually very good movies and deserve a second chance. And today movie is The Losers, the 2010 movie that stars Jeffrey Dean Morgan, Zoe Saldana, Chris Evans and Idris Elba, as well as Jason Patric. Now, that's a cast right there that raises eyebrows. In 2010 it probably didn't raise that many eyebrows, because it was just prior to Chris Evans absolutely cracking onto the scene as Captain America, and Zoe Saldana as in the Guardians movies and all the other stuff she started doing. This was just, and Idris Elba as well. It was just prior to the majority of them becoming very well known in regards to movies. But it's a really fantastic cast, and this film is based on the comic book. I think it's Vertigo that published the comics. And straight up front, I've never read any of the comics. I was aware at the time, I went to the cinema to see this when it was released, and I was aware at the time it was based on a comic book, but I wasn't interested really, it didn't bother me. So again, I don't have that baggage going into this movie. Fans of the comic book might hate this movie for the fact that it deviates from the comics. I don't know. However, for me, this is a really, really rip-roaring, fun action movie that I couldn't believe disappeared into nowhere when it was released, because I thought it was a really fun movie. And this film, if you don't know, focuses on a group of special forces soldiers who, on a mission in Bolivia, I believe it is at the beginning, they are betrayed by Max, a voice on a radio, who basically, this Max butchers a lot of children that this team save. And everybody thinks they're dead. They're stuck in Bolivia, they can't get home, and they are offered a way out by Zoe Saldana's character, who offers them a way back to the States on one condition, and that is that they take out Max. And obviously they agree to this because they want revenge on Max because of what he did to them, betraying them. So they end up getting to the States. They plan their revenge. It doesn't all go according to plan, and there's lots of action, lots of fun along the way. That's your basic premise of this movie. Now, like I say, you've got a great cast here. The two standouts for me in this movie is Chris Evans and Jason Patric. Chris Evans is almost like a cartoon character just thrust into the movie. He's wonderful as the character he plays. He plays like the nerd of the group. But he's always full of one-liners and quips. He's the fun one of the group. He's excellent. And Jason Patric is a full-on cartoon character in this movie. He's full-on pantomime villain, but he is a lot of fun. He steals every scene that he's in. A really fun performance. However, everybody's good in this movie. Nobody's bad really. Jeffrey Dean Morgan's fine. It seemed a little bit too laid back for me, his character, but that could be what his character is, I don't know. But I did enjoy his performance. He just seemed a bit too laid back to me for being like a leader of these soldiers. Idris Elba is very good, and Zoe Saldana is very good, very believable as well. So we've got a fantastic chemistry between the cast members here. Loads of action in this movie. And overall a very, very enjoyable movie. And like I say, I could not believe when this movie was released that nobody saw it. From what I remember at the time, I think it got pretty decent reviews. It's just nobody went to see this movie. It's my understanding is as well, I've got it in front of me, that it had a production budget of 25 million and it made worldwide 29 million. So it really didn't perform, and it's one of those movies where I genuinely can't understand why. It is a lot of fun and a very, very enjoyable movie. The action set pieces are filmed well, and I don't know, I mean, you guys tell me in the comments if you're fans of the comic of this, Was it respectful to the comic? Did the fans hate this movie because it wasn't? Because to me, if you took the comic equation out of this, you've got an absolutely fantastic action movie here. It's got elements of comedy in it. Got great action set pieces, great chemistry, great cast, great bad guy, great villain. It had all the elements thrown in here to make this a good movie, and I thought what they put on screen was a very, very impressive, fun action movie. Not believable at all, of course it's not, but still deserving of a bit more respect, this movie. So if you've never seen The Losers, and you want to watch an action movie that's a lot of fun, you need to seek this movie out and give it a watch. Like I say, it's full of people in there now who are megastars, basically, so you can see them just on the brink of their stardom. And I think this is a movie that will definitely impress you and give you a good time, and I'm going to give this movie an 8 out of 10 for entertainment values. Yeah, it ain't going to win any awards for its storytelling. It's not going to win any awards for its narrative. It's not changing the world. It's just a fun action piece. So for me, this is definitely a film worth watching. And if you haven't seen The Losers, guys, check it out. Thanks for watching, everybody.